Are you ready?
Let's give it a shot.
Welcome to the Sports Wrap. Hey, happy 6th anniversary.
There's no kidding.
6 years.
You've got to be kidding.
2019, I think September 13th of 2019 was our first show, if I remember right.
This has gone by faster than my marriage. It's
Well, I hope you had a little more fun in the marriage thing.
Well, yeah, but it took 51 years, but that's all right.
Ah, man. Well, we even took a 2-week hiatus.
We did.
I had to go to Menominee, Wisconsin. You know, and celebrate a wedding with my cousins on my mom's side.
Yeah, that boy of yours snuck you into a Stout State game, though.
We went and watched 3 quarters. It was so hot, George.
Yeah.
It was so hot. I finally told Eli, we got to go. I couldn't cool off. Didn't matter how much water underneath the stands. It was warm. I even got sunburnt on my ears and my neck.
Oh, boy.
It was crazy. Anyway, Stout has an okay team. Wartburg was better. It was okay. Like I said, check it off the list. You don't get to go watch a lot of Division III football.
No, I'll tell you about Wartburg. They've consistently had very good teams, and so and Stout State as well. So it's it was. I enjoyed watching the Bulldogs play a lot more, and it was a lot cooler.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that Cato game.
Yeah.
I did not get to watch it. I was getting updates from Uncle Paul, and it went right down to the buzzer.
It went down to the buzzer, and both Mankato and UMD had solid defenses. This was talk about a game in the trenches. And it 14-0 with a few seconds left. And the Bulldogs kicked the field goal, and so you took a look at that, and the field, and all the fans rushed the field.
Oh.
I've not seen a rush field, but they needed to beat Mankato if this season was going to go anywhere near they wanted to.
Well, here's the scary part about that is they beat Mankato, I think 4 out of the last 5 times on the play. Mankato always makes the national tournament, and the Bulldogs don't, and this should hopefully cement it. I was looking at the records last week on Sunday morning. I was reading the paper, and I noticed that the Bulldogs are 3-0, and I also noticed that Bemidji State is 0-3.
0-3.
What the heck is going on there?
I don't know, and I thought this whole thing was going to build up, and then Bemidji was going to come to UMD, and finally the Bulldogs could get some revenge. But that's not necessarily the way it's going.
Well, hopefully they still get revenge, but gee, I mean, the tables have kind of we expected the Bulldogs probably to come into that game being the underdog rather than being the hunter than the hunted.
And Kyle Walsh, Jasper, is just big, strong, tough quarterback. He reminds me of a Joe Cap. He's just big and strong and will hit you in 1,000 different ways. But it's the defense that really pulled through for UMD, and they were solid, as was Mankato's. It was just a great game. I sat at the edge of my chair and just screamed.
Why? I texted Paul while we were at the Stout game. I said, "Well, how are the Bulldogs doing?" He goes, "They don't play till 4 o'clock." I'm like, "Holy." Am I out of the anyway?
Yeah, they didn't play till 4 o'clock, and it was but there was great games. I mean, the first thing I started off with last week was Georgia Tech and Clemson, and Georgia Tech has had a hard time with Clemson over the years. Clemson's a tough team. Tech beat them.
You want to talk about clutch field goals?
Talk about clutch field goals.
Holy cow!
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Well, it's and Clemson, I'm not sure where they're at. They've dropped to
1-2, I believe.
1-2, and they've lost to LSU and they've lost to Georgia Tech. But I got to give Georgia Tech this. I think they got the best fight song around. The Rambling Wrecks from Georgia Tech, and it's just like Rambling Wreck, and then they bring out this Model A Ford, the Model A car that comes out. This is no Rambling Wreck. This thing is beautiful. It just really tuned up. It's sharp, and the people came up. But it was a game that I really enjoyed. I also enjoyed Tennessee and Georgia game, and I was pulling for the Vols. I was pulling, guys. for the Vols, and they just came up that little bit short. But if we could have got Tennessee to win and Georgia Tech to win, I'd have been a pretty happy man.
I'm at the wedding reception trying to figure out how I could get it on my phone, and little did I realize I needed to get on the place's Wi-Fi. I couldn't get it on my. As soon as I turned on Wi-Fi, boom, she popped right up. But yeah, I was watching the Gopher game while we were at the dance, and everybody's like, "What are you watching?" I'm like, "I'm watching the Gophers, man." So I had it sitting on the table as everybody's dancing. They're coming over to check to see what was happening, and I didn't make the end of that game because it was exhaustion. My gosh, it didn't get done till like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Don't tell me, I don't know. I did stay up and watch it, and it was, you lost the game on Saturday night, and then the Vikings really wet the bed on Sunday night, and it was, geez, I can't be staying up this late watching teams play poorly. That's just not the way to do it. But the Gophers got a real good game this weekend. They don't play, and so.
Yeah, probably a good thing. Need to get rested up here to start the Big Ten season. Yeah, Coy fumbled the ball. I heard. I didn't see it.
It was on a punt, and this is what he does. And he looked up. He looked up to see what was going on and lost sight of the ball, and it just fell right out.
I saw him take the fair catch at the 2-yard line, and I was in a hotel, so I didn't yell at the TV too loud. But there was a lot of what are you doing? Yeah, so hopefully he can get his britches. Although PJ defended him in the paper saying, well, kind of the mama said there'd be days like these, his real first taste of adversity, and hopefully he comes out of it a better man, which is what athletics are supposed to be teaching us to do, right?
We kind of really look upon Coy with an awful lot of respect and know that he's always going to do the right thing. Well, guess what? This game is a game of variables, and once in a while those variables don't work out, even for Coy Perich, and he dropped it, and that was a deciding factor, and they weren't able to get back into the game from that.
Short field for California, I was impressed with the way the defense played in the first half, which is what I really got to watch. Most of it was the first half. I thought that they really kind of hung in there. It didn't look good for a while, but then all of a sudden whoever figured out, the players, the coaches, whatever, they figured it out and made it pretty tough. But then the fourth quarter, things fell apart. So, next week they'll start the Big Ten season, and they'll have their nine straight games of Big Ten opponents.
Well, when I got home from the football game last night, Iowa and Rutgers were on. And of course, Minnesota plays Rutgers next week.
Correct.
And I wanted to get a look at how they were, and of course they play Iowa down in a few weeks, and so I wanted to see how those teams. And Iowa pulled one out, but I'm going to tell you right now, if the Gophers don't come fully equipped at Rutgers, they're going to have a tough go of it. They got a very good football team.
Well, Paul was texting me last night. He was watching the game. He was at home. And he said it's 14-14 still in the first quarter, and I'm like, what? He says it's a track meet, and I'm like, Iowa doesn't do track meets.
No,
not Iowa football. So when I got home last night and I flipped the TV on, it was 38-28 with about 25 seconds left. Iowa scored 38 points against a Big Ten opponent. I did not do that. Of course, they got South Dakota State's quarterback, and
they've changed up a little bit.
So they're willing to chuck it around a little bit.
And they won it on like a 60-yard, maybe 70-yard touchdown pass.
Okay.
And it was right in the pickle barrel, and so Iowa took control from that point on. But it was a really good game, and you just kind of want to do just a little bit of scouting on what was going on there. But we've got some great games today, Tim.
Yeah.
UMD is at Sioux Falls this afternoon.
That's a trap game for the Bulldogs.
It is.
It's got upset written all over it, man.
And it has in the last couple of years too. So that's going to be a good one. But UMD's on a bit of a roll, and they like being 3-0, and I think that they would really like to be 4-0.
Winning on the road shows a lot to the guys who do the voting, and gals possibly.
Maryland's is at Wisconsin, and both Big Ten teams, but Wisconsin, they get beat around pretty good by Alabama last week. They really beat them up.
Yeah, that's Scotty is not, as Uncle Paul would say, Scotty's not what they've been.
No, I don't think they are either.
And I mean, no disgrace losing to Alabama, but Alabama's not the Alabama of 2 or 3 years ago.
Well, and it was at home too, and you go to you go into Camp Randall and get pushed around. That doesn't look too good. And then, of course, at 11 o'clock, I'm going to be down there. I'm going to be tight down because North Texas is playing Army.
Oh,
Army's had a pretty interesting season.
Okay.
They lost to Tarleton State.
Ooh.
If you don't know where that's at, that's someplace in Texas. And they lost to them the first game, a big upset. Then they come back and they beat Kansas State. And it's just, and really kind of, they've got interesting offense, to say the least, and I can enjoy that because it's all mostly running, and I can tell what's going on. But North Texas and Army is going to be going today, and we'd like to see Army parts back. I've also seen Navy. I haven't seen Air Force. They're playing today as well, but Navy's got a very good team. So if this is building up to the Army-Navy game, oh boy, I don't know.
Oh my gosh, it's September 20th. He's talking Army-Navy. That's in December.
It is.
Holy.
It is. And then at 2:30 today, and this was part of College Game Day, Michigan and Nebraska. How do you see this going?
The guy in the Star Tribune says that Nebraska's going to beat Michigan. I'm like, what? I mean, it's in Nebraska. Michigan is, well, they've got this superstar quarterback.
They do.
He was also chewing out all his players on the sideline last week. You wonder what that's doing to the team, because some teams will respond in a good way to that,
yeah,
and other teams will fold like a tent. I don't know. He's got Nebraska 20, Michigan 17. That's probably pretty close, but I don't see Nebraska winning it. I see it flip-flop. I see Michigan winning the close game.
I think Michigan's going to win a close one too. And then we have Auburn and Oklahoma. Oklahoma, of course, but that Michigan-Oklahoma game down in Oklahoma, it was a tight game, and it could have gone either way. But I'm not sure Oklahoma's as good as they'd like to think they are.
Number 11?
Yeah, and so Auburn. And I'm not sure if Auburn's as good as they think they are. So those guys are going to go down there and just beat the heck out of each other. Then this afternoon we've got Purdue at Notre Dame. This is, home in Indiana type thing.
Notre Dame's 0-2. Got to be maybe the best 0-2 team. And I'm not trying to praise Notre Dame, but to think that they're 0-2. They're going to absolutely destroy Purdue today.
Well,
they're going to put up a big number.
Well, but I tell you, they're 0-2 for a reason, and that's because they haven't performed very well. And so, and of course, they were in the top 10 in the nation when they started off. And these great teams, they have a tendency of, you can see the coaches going, they do not like to be in that situation, especially when they're trying to get a bowl bid. So it's a big bowl bid, and so Notre Dame has got some work to do. Boise at Air Force, Arizona State at Baylor. I liked Arizona State last year. I thought that they were a really fine but they lost their big fullback, and I'm not sure what they have left over there. But I know Baylor's going to be tough, and it's that'll be interesting to watch.
Did they lose 48-45 last week, or win 48-45? They were in overtime with SMU, I think, if I remember right. Yeah. So, yeah, they can put some points up.
And then I think the game of the week for Big Ten, Indiana and Illinois.
Now my question to you is, who the heck are you going to be pulling for? Because they're both your boys.
They are. They are. No, I'm kind of,
I'm pulling for Indiana because
I know you are.
I cannot pull for Brett.
No, Big Brett is
jerk.
Big Brett is he's kind of a nasty human being, and so I guess I'm pulling for Indiana too. I can't believe in 1 year Indiana has turned this around. Let's see if they can do it for a second year. There was a very good team last year, and they're going to be in there anyway. I'm going to be watching that game.
So if you weren't listening quite closely enough, that means Maryland at Wisconsin at 11 a.m. on NBC.
That's it.
Purdue at Notre Dame at 2:30, and then
Yes.
Indiana or Illinois at Indiana to top it off, their triple header on NBC. Hey, that's a pretty good afternoon.
And Michigan and Nebraska's at 2:32. So between 11 and 4 o'clock, I'm going to have two screens going, and
Michigan State at USC at 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock at night. Yeah, I have down here, if your eyes can handle it, at 10 o'clock, Michigan State travels to the Coliseum and meets the Trojans. So,
wow.
And I'd like to see that a little upset there, but I'm not sure where the upset would go. I think Michigan State's going to have to pull one out of their hat for this one.
Washington State's on at 6:30 tonight too.
Yes,
they don't like each other.
They do not. No, they do not.
So there are some interesting games, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Today, and we'll see how much we're able to garner in the old eye sockets.
No, and I tell you, last week, and I mean, this is kind of I watched 5 college football games on Saturday, and I picked up a couple of games on Sunday, and then Monday night football was 2 games. I didn't know that, but over the course of the week, I watched 10 football games, and
God bless you, George.
Yeah,
God bless you.
I must not have had anything to do. So, but that's going to be kind of the way it is today. So,
well, you might as well segue right into your Sunday. You might as well talk about the Vikings.
Let's talk about the Vikings.
What we can expect, what we've seen, I don't know.
Well,
man,
they
try to put a positive spin on this dirty thing that's going on.
It's not so hard to figure out. Injuries and really poor play. They played poorly at so many different levels, it's hard to even pick it out.
But not the defense.
Defense.
Can we agree to that?
The defense
has been okay?
Yeah, it's been okay.
I read on X and people have been talking to me. Ivan Pace has got to go. That's the number one thing. That's the number one thing that they're saying about the defense right now. Ivan Pace has got to go. Can't do it. Can't stop the run. Can't fill a hole. Blah blah blah. Okay, you don't have Harrison Smith. Maybe this week. Maybe he's going to play. I haven't seen for sure. But they're still hanging in there to consider that they held Atlanta to 5 field goals in some of the field position that Atlanta had.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, Ryan Kelly and Justin Scully, these are offensive linemen that we really need. And Ryan Kelly was going to be the big. They're both concussioned out, and so these guys they're still getting concussions, and they're still hanging in there. But
you're not supposed to get concussions when you're not out there in space running around. You're as what's his name from Michigan State, the old coach of the films that we used to watch was Stewart. Anyway, you're in close proximity to the other player, and the first step was
about Duffy.
I can't.
Duffy Doherty.
It could have been.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was always. You shouldn't get concussions in close proximity.
No.
Yeah, I mean, you're banging heads, but you're not going fast enough to. I don't know. Maybe they're getting your hold.
Well, and Christian Darsaw was going to be full goal yesterday at practice.
Right.
That's his first full goal. So I think since the season start. And I think he's going to play on Sunday. I don't know how much.
Okay.
But when you start putting him back into shape, you get Ryan Kelly, and he is game time type thing. J.J. McCarthy's out, and so we have Carson Wentz coming back to town.
Okay, let me ask this question before we leave J.J.
Yeah.
Is he really hurt? I'm asking.
Well, he was in a boot.
No, is he really hurt? He might be in a boot. Is he really hurt, or are they trying to buy him time?
Well, they might be doing a little bit of both, and
They're telling me about this play that he got hurt on. He's got a high ankle sprain. You don't run on those things for another quarter plus, unless you're on like cocaine or something. I don't know. It's being over the top a little bit. Don't take that literally. But I'm just like, how did he finish the game?
it can be as bad as a broken leg, and it's
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand. No. So I think there's might be a little shenanigans going on here. Well, and then of course it's going to come back to this. Did you play him during the preseason so you get some experience playing in the NFL? Heck no.
No, they were protecting him there. And Cam Akers is back.
Again,
third time coming back to the Vikings.
He's like fall or winter. He just keeps coming back.
Well, Chandler's out. Jones is out. Jones had a hamstring. Chandler's got a knee. C.J. Hams has got a knee. Xavier Scott is the backup running back, and that doesn't bother me because I've been wanting to see this kid. This is go Black Bear. So, I'm looking forward to having that. But Cam Akers, every time he's come up, he's performed pretty well for the Vikings. So
he has Aaron Jones is definitely the first 2 weeks there was definitely something not right.
Yeah,
no explosion,
none.
I mean, no snap to the hole. Did not look good. Don't take this the wrong way. I'm happy to hear them say that it's an injury because I thought maybe it was just old age. Yeah. And being serious, I know he's not old. I know he's only like 31 or whatever. But for a running back, that's
old.
That's old.
Yeah,
and so
it is.
I hope. I mean, I think he can help the team, but not the way he was the last 2 weeks. So, and of course, part of that's the offensive line. The holes aren't there.
And of course, Atlanta has a pretty good defensive line to work against, and so and they played very well. And I don't want to take anything away from it, but I got a post from this guy with a red beard, and he was screaming and shouting and having a really good time. He's sitting next to a guy that had a nice Vikings jersey on, and this guy, I'm not going to call him, but his name is Augie, had an Atlanta shirt on. So I give him
you what? Oh, he's done. He's been disowned.
I talked to him about last night. Did you have way too much fun? What, did you go out the night before? Where did you get that shirt, that jersey? And so I give him a little bit of grief about it.
Did you tell him that his Bears are 0-2?
Yeah, the Bears. I didn't even talk to him about when I wanted to go to the radio station after the Bears game and have my jersey on and just say, I'm a lot more mature than this young man, kinda, and so I thought maybe I wouldn't do that this week.
I got two semi-serious questions for you.
Okay.
You tell me if you think I'm losing my mind about the Vikings. Okay. My daughter has Hawkinson on her fantasy team. Is Hawkinson hurt, or does JJ not understand what he has?
I think the second part of that.
Okay, I'm going to ask you another question.
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson, is Justin Jefferson being double teamed all the time, or does JJ McCarthy not understand what he has in Justin Jefferson?
And maybe a combination of that, but Jefferson hasn't pulled on those miracle catches, and he's not even in the top 10 for receivers right now. He's and he should be leading.
Here's what I said this week. You might think I'm nuts, so you can tell me if you think I am. Justin Jefferson needs to be traded. He is losing trade value. He is not. We can find somebody else. We can trade for somebody. And here's where I'm going with this, folks. Okay, we're going to see Jamar Chase tomorrow.
Yeah, we are.
Jamar Chase is the best receiver in football, and it ain't even close. We can talk about Justin Jefferson. You can put on his jersey, and you can tell me how great he is and whatever else. Jamar Chase does it every week. There's no 2-catch weeks like Justin had here the other night. There's none of that. Okay? Jamar Chase goes out and does it every week, double, triple, quadruple team. I don't care what they can't stop him. Okay? The Vikings could be in big trouble tomorrow with Jamar Chase, and we're going to get to see these two teammates to think that they were teammates.
Yeah, LSU,
they were teammates at LSU.
Yeah, they were.
To Jamar Chase. I mean, I hope Justin Jefferson lights it up. Carson Wentz, maybe we'll start to find him. Here's what I think about Carson Wentz. What did Carson Wentz played at North Dakota State, right?
He did.
Where does North Dakota State, where do they throw the football? To their tight ends.
Yeah.
I think TJ Hawkinson, and I told my daughter this because she was debating whether she should sit him for the week. I said, Carson Wentz is going to play quarterback for the Vikings on Sunday. You better have the tight end for the Vikings in the lineup.
Yeah.
Because I think T.J. Hawkinson catches about 8 footballs tomorrow.
Well, yeah, and not just TJ. I mean, I think they can go for either side on the tight ends. So and they probably will. I'm real curious just to watch Wentz play. It's been a while since I've seen him play. He has had, how do you say it, ups and downs. And
they say, I think I saw something the other day that said he's going to start for his 6th. Did it say different team?
Wow.
In 6 seasons? The first NFL quarterback to ever do that. He's going to start 6 different. That can't be right. I must be dreaming that. Anyway, I'm not saying that Carson Wentz is going to pull a miracle out tomorrow, but I think he's going to maybe stabilize things maybe a little bit. JJ's definitely been a little frantic. The game is going a little too fast for him. Again, going back, he should play during the preseason. Even if you take the chance that he's going to get hurt, I understand he's your franchise quarterback, but you can't. I don't care what you do in practice. It's still controlled, and the quarterback knows it's controlled and knows he's not going to get hit, so he does things differently.
It's a totally different game.
When you go out there and put the lights on, you put 65,000 butts in the chairs. The other teams line up and play differently. And you can't simulate that in practice no matter what you do. I talked to somebody, this is even high school football. We talk about the scrimmage before the season. Okay? Coach is talking about getting rid of the scrimmage. Okay? I don't want to play my best players because I don't want a chance to have my high school kid getting hurt. I'm like, they're 16, 17 years old. They've got to get every rep, every down they can get is gold.
That's right.
And especially if you're going to go up against somebody else. So I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but I think that I'm going to say this. I don't think J.J. McCarthy is hurt as bad as he is. They want to pull him out so that he's got a chance 2-3 weeks to let it assimilate in his brain, whatever else. And he's a new dad. He's working. No, that's bad. I honestly, the Vikings need to make a few changes. Obviously, the injuries are a big deal, but. Wow, is the offense bad? I mean, the offense is bad. I mean, not even 8 quarters and 7 of them, you might as well take the film and put them over here in the burn pile and just torch them because it's that bad.
Oh, yeah, it really was that bad. And it's, I did not enjoy watching the football game Sunday night, and it was,
That all being said, if you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan,
oh,
you've lost 3 games in a row, baby, for the first time in the GOAT Mahomes era.
Yeah.
And Travis Kelce seems to be unhappy with his quarterback.
Well, it's just because he found an ugly wife, and so he's just.
Oh my God!
No, I tell you, you got to remember these are professional football players, professional athletes, but they're also young men, and the emotionality of the game does get involved, especially with somebody as young as JJ. What is he? 22? I mean that's that's very young. Playing that league.
Yeah, Kansas City 0-2. Miami's 0-3. I predicted them to go to the playoffs. They haven't looked very good. So, but Buffalo's 3-0. The Chargers and the Rams are both 2-0. So LA is happier than Cincinnati's coming in 2-0 with Jake Browning at the quarterback and with Burrow out for 3 months. Don't forget Cincinnati's got a pretty good pass rusher as well. Well, how will we deal with that with our line? The Eagles, the Niners, the Cardinals. And the Packers are all 2-0 undefeated, and the Niners and the Cardinals play tomorrow.
Well, and I don't want to push this one too hard, but I watched the Green Bay Packers play. They're good, Tim.
Dang it.
Yeah, they're good, and it's they manhandled the Lions and the Lions.
But the Lions came out and put 52 on the Bears.
I know. Yeah,
the Bears, Augie, they put 52 on the Bears. Woof.
And they give them their coach from last year, so it's
No, I understand what you're saying about the Packers. I'm still not sold that they're that good. They got a quarterback from Washington last week that had a sprained knee, and so I'm going to play the card on that they were against an injured quarterback, so they got lucky. Anyway,
yeah.
It's early. We got 2/17.
This is only 3 games.
We got 2/18 of the season done, so we got a long way to go. But man, are we going to find out lots this week?
This weekend.
Crazy.
Yeah, no, good football this weekend, and lots of it.
Okay. What do you want to talk about next, man? That was about a half hour of football. That's good. Don't get me wrong. But how about the Minnesota Lynx?
I watched them.
Did you stay up late?
I did, and
so did I. Bad choice.
Bad choice, and of course, going into the fourth quarter, they were down 17 points.
That's why I shouldn't stay.
And you think, geez, the best thing you guys have going for you these days is you got to play hardcore defense, and then they came back and beat them.
I had the remote in my hand about 4 times. I'm going to bed.
I'm going to bed.
Nah.
Yeah. And it's and I like the redhead Williams, and she
drives me crazy. You know that, kid. She takes some of the dumbest shots in the history of basketball.
Boy, she can get up and down the court, though, can't she?
She can get up and down the court, and she can make your life miserable.
And she's probably, she rebounds well. She's the smallest lady on the court, and she rebounds. She's aggressive.
Cheryl, tell her, don't shoot. You can shoot layups. Okay? You can shoot 2-footers. She shot that one shot from about. She looked like she was gonna pull up for a 3. She took a step into just by the free throw line, and the shot was so flat, and it rattled the rim so hard. I thought the rim was gonna come off the backboard. I'm just like, how can you play basketball for that long and not have the ability to? Don't they have coaches who? At this point, they don't even mess with their shot. I understand that.
No, she's an emotional basketball player.
She definitely is that.
Yeah.
The Lynx don't get the Liberty.
I am so upset about that, and it's just like we wanted revenge, but Liberty dropped the ball against Phoenix.
Yeah, the Mercury won last night late. If you didn't, again, let's stay up late again. So the Lynx get the Mercury starting tomorrow, I believe. Best of 5 series. Mercury were actually the 4 seed, and New York was the 5 seed, so that one held true. But in the other ones, we found out that Indiana is the 6 seed, take down number 3 Atlanta.
Yeah.
And what happened it was Seattle and Vegas. I failed to see the final score. Do you know?
No, but I think I don't know. I think didn't Seattle win?
I don't. Seattle versus Vegas WNBA. Whoops, hit the wrong button. Seattle versus Vegas WNBA. Let's see, where's the score? Aces 74. No, that was Thursday night.
Yeah.
Vegas won. So Vegas and Indiana. I got a text message here. Let me just double check. All right. Anyway, nothing serious. We do have a swim meet going on today, so I'm kind of. If we got to pull the pin, we got to pull. Anyway, we're good. So
okay. But tomorrow night, the Lynx are going to play.
Is it tomorrow night, not tomorrow afternoon?
Oh, it might be in the afternoon.
It could be. I thought I saw 3 and 5 maybe, but that's evening. Good enough.
I just know that it's going to be on in our house because my wife is already prancing and dancing. We're Lynx fans in our place.
Phoenix is not going to be an easy matchup. Well, nobody's an easy matchup. Let's be serious. The Valkyries gave the Lynx everything they wanted. It shows you how balanced it is. Quite the crowd that they had out there in San Jose. Not even in San Francisco. They had to move the game because their arena was used up. They set a WNBA record for attendance this year, like over 18,000.
Wow.
Yeah, scary stuff.
You know, they're coming on and they're expanding that league, and it's. I never thought that they would be playing at this level at this time in the WNBA, but they are playing well, and those ladies can shoot. I mean, they can really
Minus
shoot.
Courtney Williams.
Yeah, minus Courtney Williams.
So sorry. Where do you want to go next? There's so many choices.
Do you want to talk about that game we witnessed last night?
We can talk about that a little more. Football.
Well, it was homecoming week in Falls High School. I mean, I saw that schedule. You were a busy man, and in fact, I was so busy too that I still managed to make it over to the parade yesterday and watched all of International Falls children walk down the middle of the street.
Yeah, there was nobody. There were no kids that were not in the supposed to be in the parade. So
That's fantastic.
It was. The rain tried to dampen the spirits a little bit, but looked like everybody was fairly dry and.
There was no rain. We parked our car right down by the bank, and just got out and sat and watched as the car and one of the boys off the football team threw me a T-shirt. I didn't even know if they knew who I was, but apparently somebody did. And
they know who George Flick. Yeah, too bad the result for the football team wasn't a little better last night. They had their opportunity.
They did, and I noticed they made some adjustments. In my mind, Kane Thompson is probably the best he's the best football player in the field. He's one of the best football players I've seen in the last few years. And they moved him to offensive tackle, which is not a bad thing because he can play any position in the field. But you're losing him as a receiver, and he always pulled down one or two big catches. The big catches just weren't there last night. There was way too many penalties. I mean, the flags were flying all over the place for all kinds of things.
All I can say is this. The referees after the game told me they felt like they controlled the game, and I talked to both sides of both teams, and they felt like there were way too many flags, too much control from the officials. Let them play the game a little bit.
Let them play the game.
9:36, I believe the game got over last night, and I would guess, and I haven't watched the film, I would guess that there were no less than probably 16 to 18 penalties accepted in the game. It was a long night.
It was.
And we knew that going in. This crew is infamous for throwing lots of flags and making the game a little longer. And
it wasn't two flags, but there were raining flags, and it's just.
Well, and we talked about this morning before I came out here. We talked about the Zach Uso penalty on the blocking on the back when we're down on the scoreboard end, and even I yelled, "That's not a penalty!" As soon as I saw the referee go to pull the flag to throw it, I'm like, "It was not a penalty," and I'm going to go back and watch it. Maybe I'm wrong.
Was on the line of scrimmage?
Well, Zach Uso was running a route, and he came back to block for the quarterback, and the kid ran into him. He had his hands out like this, and the kid ran into him. And they called blocking in the back. I'm like, what? What was he supposed to? He didn't even push him. His hands. The guy runs into you, and you get called for blocking in the back. What?
Well, I think it was Zach that was running down the field. They tackled him, ripped his helmet off, and he kept on going
and scored a touchdown. There are a lot of unhappy people in the stands that. Well, why is the touchdown score? Because in high school and college football, as soon as the helmet comes off, play's dead. It's over. It's not the way we like it. This guy tells Zach Eagles, so you got to buck up a little harder.
Yeah.
Or tell those Aiken kids not to be ripping
their heads off, and Sue one time, my wife asked me, she says, "Well, if you lost your helmet, would you just stop?" You're not trained that way. It's instinctive. You don't worry about a helmet. That's the least thing you worry about.
You played out on the playground for years without a helmet. So,
and people have questioned me on that.
Yeah.
But it was a fun game. Well, it wasn't a fun game if you're a Bronco fan, but it was a good high school football game.
It was a good high school football game. The result wasn't what the Bronco fans wanted. They're 1-3 now.
Yeah.
And it's a tough road. But so you got GNK coming up,
and GNK lost to Rush City by 6 points.
Only by 6 points, and we lost by 37. So we got to go down there. I'm sure it's homecoming.
Yeah.
And then the next week we get Hinckley, who got destroyed last night by It might have been Moose Lake.
It might have been Moose Lake, yeah.
And then you finish up the season with Mesabi East, which is not going to be an easy game. Never is.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest rival we have in football right now, Mesabi East, and then got to go down to Crosby. So it's a tough row.
Well, Crosby got zapped last night, but so I'm not too worried about Crosby, but Greenway, I am. They're at a new field. They're playing in.
They're going to be playing in Nashwauk next week at the old Angelo Tatey Field.
Oh,
Yeah, the old field.
Oh.
Yeah, in Nashwauk. They got a new school, but not a new football field.
So they're not playing any of their games in Greenway?
They're playing the rest of the games in Greenway. They
Okay.
get one. Nashwauk gets one game per season, and this will be the second time we've played in Nashwauk in like the last 10 years. So,
Okay.
yeah. I want to talk about the Bronco volleyball team, if I might.
Good idea. I watched them play the other night too.
So, early on in the season, things maybe not going so well, but a great 5-setter against Mesabi East at home, a win. They go play up at Ely. There's supposed to be a home game on Tuesday, but they got to go to Ely. Ely had transportation issues, so we go up to Ely to play, lose 15-11 in set 5 to a team that's gone to state at least the last 3 years, and then beat Lake of the Woods for the first time in 9 years on Thursday at home in 4 sets.
9 years and came back.
And had a tough second set, and came back and won that. So a great week for the volleyball girls. Nice job. The girls swim team lost to Rockridge 90-86.
Rockridge is pretty good. That's a big school.
Not too shabby there. So kudos to the swimming team, and the cross country kids went out to. They went to Grand Rapids this week. Of course, that's a huge meet. But they've got 2 meets coming up this week: Deer River and they go to Hibbing. So a smaller meet and a bigger meet. But good week. The atmosphere in the Falls High Gym on Monday night against Mesabi East. Somebody said they thought the kids were a little flat, but boy, I'll tell you, when it was in the 5th set, there was nothing flat about it. And the Lake of the Woods kids showed up. Cheering section showed up Thursday night. The boys
were there,
and the place was hopping.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I had a little smile on my face because it's homecoming week, which obviously is a big deal. But you got an exciting match. The kids on both sides were in it. I think they were being mostly respectful with each other.
I noticed the referee did go over and say to the guys, "Hey guys, how's it going?"
And I did get asked to go tell the Lake of the Woods boys that they couldn't cheer while our server was serving. They didn't like me at that point, but I said, "Hey, it's the way it is." The referee said so. But like I said, the rest of it was and I think the parents were into it. It was exciting. It was a good week.
I actually enjoyed watching the Baudette boys cheer. I mean, when you get a group of guys like that out there cheering for their girls, this was what high school sports is all about. And so, but I did chuckle when the referee went over and they became really quiet for about 30 seconds. And then that was all over. And it was like, if you had to tell them to use decorum the entire time, that's all you would have been doing.
The worst part about it was when I was told to go talk to him, it was in the 4th set, and it was about 21-17. And I'm like, you want me to go tell him now? This is like crunch time. And you want me to go tell him? And so they got I didn't really want to try to do it while the play was going on, and they called the timeout, and I went over, and every one of them they turned their head around like, what do you mean? And I'm like, the referee says. I said, I'm just relaying the message. I'm telling you guys can't do it. And they're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, don't. I just.
They must have some pretty raucous volleyball games.
Well, volleyball is kind of king or queen in this case.
Yeah.
At Lake of the Woods, they've always had a great program. So.
Oh no, it was really a lot of fun to watch. We got that on your live TV and had a good time with it.
Gopher volleyball's 8-1.
They are.
Did they beat Loyola Chicago last night? I assume they're 9-1. I didn't look this morning. But they get Marquette on FS1 tomorrow at 5:00, and I think the Lynx play at 5:00 tomorrow.
Oh,
so
boy.
now what's your wife gonna watch? She's gonna
record.
Of course she is.
No, I mean, I'm a football freak. There's no two ways about it. But she's a volleyball freak, and she just loves it. And it's,
you're talking about your wife going to record one of those two things. the World Track and Field Championships have been going on.
Oh, and it's been amazing
in Tokyo, and so the time difference, the finals occur starting at 5 o'clock or 5:30 in the morning and go till about 8:30 in the morning. Well, with my life, I can't get up at 5 o'clock to watch track and field. I'll fall asleep. So guess what? Tim's done 6 consecutive days in a row. Hit the record button, and then when I come home, I can zap through all the stuff. So I can watch about 3 hours of track in about an hour and maybe 15, 20 minutes. It's been interesting. I don't like to do it, but I didn't get to watch Friday mornings yet, which I hear were pretty exciting. And of course, I didn't watch this morning's yet. So with Saturday football and Sunday football, I'm going to have to find a way to find like time to get through like 9 hours of track and field too, because I ain't missing. I'm missing the end of this.
And
but
this world championship has produced some incredible results.
You know, not a lot in the terms of world record, but championship records, and the USA's been doing.
They have, but you know, I mean, there was they got a pole vaulter that needs a parachute. Oh
yeah, he's the man. He's the man.
And they got a young man that wiped out Bowles' record for the 200 meters. And I mean, it's just like, geez, these guys. Hey,
I like how I love a good track and field meet.
No, and
I love that they're showing javelin, and the hammer throws. I mean, they're showing it all. So I've been enjoying the heck out of it. But like I said, I got to get caught up. So it was not only homecoming week, but trying to fit this all in.
Hey, Coach Furman, I'll bet you were watching.
I'll bet he was. And of course, that's 2 hours difference. It's only like 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh. Yeah, so I'm sure good stuff. Let's talk a little hockey.
Let's do that.
Are you concerned that the Thrill hasn't signed a contract?
No, I think he's going to. And the last report, he says he wants a contract, believe it or not, and he wants to stay in Minnesota. Believe it or not.
They offered him the richest contract in the history of hockey, and he turned them down. What does that mean? They offered him, I think, 8 years, $128 million. That's $16 million a year if I do the math quickly. They offered him $16 million a year, and that wasn't enough. What are we? Where, I don't know. So my question is, He's saying all the right things right now, right? About, well, let's not worry about it. I want to play hockey. I want to be in Minnesota. I love Minnesota. I love Minnie, is what he said. Minnie, not Minnesota, Minnie. I love Minnie. But does he want to go? Well, okay, and here's the other thing. Connor McDavid is in the same situation. He's not signed an extension in Edmonton. Connor McDavid's not leaving Edmonton. Or is he waiting for Connor to... Are they waiting for each other to see so that they can one-up each other?
I don't know whether they're going to one-up, but I bet you they're keeping a real close eye on what
or do they want to go test the free agency market and see what they can get? Because you got to remember now, NHL's getting a little more money. They're expanding the cap and whatever else. And the Wild, we've been waiting 4 years for Suter and Parise to go away. Now they're going away. And now Kirill won't sign the blessed contract. What the hey?
No, it's... Well, the NHL is the lowest paid major sport. I mean, by quite a bit. Yeah. $16 million in the NBA is...
That's a pittance.
That's a pittance. And I think that they're trying to raise that level up a little bit, and I think that the women in WNBA are attempting to do that too, and it just brings the prestige up to the thing, But when you start getting teams that have 18,000 people a game, now that money's going somewhere, and the players
pockets.
Yeah, so the players want a few of those dollars in their pockets as well. So I understand what they're trying to do, but a year without Kaprizov, that would cost them a lot.
I'm hurt. I guess I'm maybe hurt in the fact that Kirill wouldn't say, well, geez, 16 million average. That's pretty good. But it could be, like I said, could be the Connor McDavid thing too. That they're kind of waiting each other out.
Well, he's not going to get that kind of contract in Russia. I guarantee you that.
No, he's not going to Russia. He'll be in the NHL somewhere. But Anyway, their first exhibition game is tomorrow.
Already.
Oh yeah, they've been training camp 3 days, and let's go play a hockey game because that's what we do. Fort Francis Lakers started last night. They play again tonight. So if you got an itch and you're in International Falls area or the Fort Francis area, you want to go watch some hockey. I looked at their roster, and a lot of kids back. Of course, they got some new fresh faces because once they turn 20 years old, that's their final season. They got to go. But a lot of kids back, and we'll see how that goes.
Any kids there we recognize?
Pierce Gwynn from the Falls is playing, and seemed like there were a couple. Obviously, there's a few Fort Francis kids that are playing. So anyway, kind of looking forward. I'm going over to watch tonight, so looking forward to a little hockey. Why not?
Why not?
The Loons.
The Loons
Lost on Wednesday night 2-1 to Austin in the U.S. Open semis. There was devastation, but they beat San Diego last weekend, the best team in the league. So I don't know. We're almost home. There's 4 games left. They get Chicago tonight. They should be able to put the Fire out. Sorry, the Chicago Fire. Anyway,
the Chicago
Fire. They should be able to put the Fire out tonight and get a win there. So other than that, not too much on the soccer front. I did see this little tidbit. I'm going to throw this out to you. Since the fire sale that the Twins did, guess who's got the worst record in baseball?
Twins. They're 66 and 86. They're in. Actually, they're still only in 4th place, but this is a sad finish, and it's just. Could you have predicted that once they sold everybody? I could.
Well, I predicted they would go 10 and 40. They didn't go quite that bad, but it's close.
Well, and I think that this is, and as I listen to the analysts, this is indicative of the rich and the poor. And
the truth.
The players do not want salary caps. The owners definitely want a salary cap. Now, I'm not sure just how you divide that thing up, but I don't think the players.
Well, they don't want to share it with.
They want to share
the
it.
LAs and the New Yorks don't want to share with the Minnesotas and the Kansas Cities.
And so what do we have? We have the Milwaukee Brewers, who are 26th in the league in salaries. And they're beating the heck out of everybody. So who am I pulling for?
But that just proves their point, right?
Yeah.
That New York's, we don't need to be doing it this way. They can do it without it.
They can do it without it.
The Blue Jays are 3 ahead of the Yankees in the AL East. The Tigers' lead is down to 3.5. Did Cleveland beat us last night?
Yes.
I assume they did. I didn't even look. I'm trying not to watch. So the lead could actually be 2.5. Over Cleveland, who is surging, and the Tigers are swooning. The Mariners and the Astros are tied, not surprised. How about our Mickey Mantle's switch hitter home run record going away? Cal Raleigh did hit his 56th home run the other day.
He really is an amazing baseball player.
I think that a catcher's hitting 56 home runs.
We got Roy Campanella, Yogi Berra. I mean, it's been that long since we've had a catcher that's been able to.
Joe Mauer never did anything there.
Well, no.
The Phillies are 12 ahead of the Mets. The Brewers are 6 up over the Cubs, and the Cubs are in the playoffs. I think I saw that the other day, so that tells you that they're probably going to be one of the wild cards. And the Dodgers are 3 over the Padres. So you look at who's there at the end here, and this is kind of the point I'm trying to make. This is kind of who we all picked early on that probably were going to be there. I mean, maybe not the Mariners, maybe not the Mariners, but everybody else is kind of like, of those 12 teams that I mentioned there.
Well, and I'm gonna just maybe suggest the fact that you're not pulling for the Dodgers or the Yankees.
No, sir.
No. So all the rest of these teams coming around,
or the Phillies,
Ick.
Although they got Harrison Bader and everybody's I think I saw in this, what has it been now, 40 games that he's played with the Phillies, and he's batting like 358.
He's just.
It's just like, he was your big, you were his biggest fan.
Oh, I loved him.
But you go on to a team like the Phillies, and you can only pitch around so many guys, and then Harrison Bader comes up and you got to pitch to him because the bases are loaded because you've blocked everybody up. No, I'm Harrison Bader. I love him. He's good stuff.
No, but anyway, I think in the next couple of years it's going to be a rocky road for major leagues, and they're going to have to figure this this contract thing out. Or, you know, I don't think the fans are going to do as well and come back as quickly as they did after the last strike. It's just fans, they can read the paper, they know what's going on, and there are so many other sports. You know, I mean, golf fans, basketball fans from both leagues, and it's not going to be long before the Wolves start over again. I mean, it's just
training camp this coming week. I think
training camp this week.
I think
and
so.
It's you know, so there's a lot of ways for sports fans to spend their money, and I you know, I love baseball as much as the next guy, but they're going to have to do some.
You mentioned golf.
Yeah.
Ryder Cup next week.
Ryder.
Now, tell me, George, we're going to have 19,000 football games to watch next week.
Yeah.
Plus, we're going to have to add in the Ryder Cup. And this is at Bethpage Black in New York. So you're going to have the New York fans all over these Europeans. It's going to be insanity.
You remember at that restaurant we were at out in Pasadena or in Hollywood, and it was Buster and whatever, and they had
Buster.
that great big screen, that enormous screen that's a little bit bigger than my house. I need one of those.
Next weekend's going to be really tough because, you know, when it's in Europe, you can get up in the morning and watch golf at like 5 o'clock in the morning. And then by the time the big football games come on, golf's over. Next week, it's going to be middle of Saturday afternoon, and the Ryder Cup's probably going to be must-watch TV.
Well, you know, and also...
And I thought about going to watching Bulldog football next week at home, but I'm like...
You miss so much football when you go take a trip, and it's
I don't know what to do.
I know, yeah, it's a dilemma.
It's a dilemma.
It's a dilemma.
It's going to be unbelievable atmosphere. You want to take a pick on who's going to win, because to me it's a toss-up.
On the Ryder?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a toss-up. I mean, you know, the English and the Irishmen, they are playing really good golf, and we got Scotty.
And we got Scotty, but he's only one of 12.
He's only one of 12.
I mean, we got a lot of good golfers. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. They were talking about Hazeltine.
Oh.
2029 hosting the Ryder Cup again.
Oh, that'd be great.
This time I'm going to be closer to my deathbed, and I'm probably going to have to like get a ticket.
No,
I'm going to have to.
And you know, I got all those friends down there in the Minnesota River Valley, and they grew up at Hazelton, and they love going to the games there. And also, I noticed down there, Chaska and Chanhassen were rated number 1 and number 2 in 5A, and last night St. Thomas smacked Chanhassen upside the head. Yeah.
I see number 2 in 6A Lakeville South lost last night as well.
Oh boy.
I didn't even look at a high school football score last night, honestly. I got home last night, I sat down with a piece of pizza, and I turned the TV on, and Channel 10 was just starting their Prep Extra.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay. And I got done watching that, and I started flipping through the channels, and the whole 9 yards is on. You remember this?
Yeah,
you remember this movie
yards.
with Bruce Willis and Matthew Perry and the Contract Killers? Oh my gosh,
that's hysterical.
I finally had to turn it. I'm like, I got to go to bed. I got to quit watching. It's so I didn't even look at a score last night. So when you tell me that Greenway won or whatever, I mean, I know the big scores, but there's too much going on.
There is an awful lot going on.
We love it. And we love it.
We do.
Anything else that we need to discuss quickly? Because we're over an hour now.
We got the Twins.
Or we're just about an hour.
Well, that's good, because it's time to go watch football. But
it's time to go watch football.
No, I think that probably covers it for me. I've got notes and stuff all over
Creation.
Well,
there you go, folks. There's our start of the 6-year show, or it's been 6 years. Our start of year 7.
Congratulations. That's good.
Who knew that?
Here at the beautiful Muni.
You put 2 strong-willed individuals together for this long, and we've never had a fight on screen.
Never on screen.
How can that be?
No. But it's because we got all these customers here that are cheering us on.
There you go.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you next week, Dave.
Bye. Thanks.